Okay, now listen to this very carefully. Soon after every transaction take place with it will be identified through a source document. No? Every transaction which is take place, you will identify through a source document. That means just after every transaction, you have to raise the source documents and record. And then from the source document, it will be recorded in journal. It will be recorded in a journal. So every transaction, soon after you identify through the source document, and it will be recorded in a journal. That will be recorded in a journal, right? When it comes to transactions are two types for our purpose in your examinations. Whatever the transaction that may take place, you divide it into two parts. The transaction that you perform on cash basis. So you call that as a cash transaction, and other transactions are credit transactions. So by the time we discuss this, by the time we discuss the journals, right? Now we are in the process of identifying the journals, right? We are identifying two types of journals. Journals in which you record the cash transactions and the journals in which you record the credit transactions. Those are the basically two types of transactions, right? What are the lazy business journals? We divided it into two. One is a cash transactions, other one is credit transactions. What are the journals that you have maintained in recording the cash transactions? What are the journals you maintain when recording the cash transactions? Cash transactions record karana use kar journals one. What have we studied? When there is a cash transactions, in which journal you have recorded them? Very good. First thing is the receipts journal. You call that as receipts journal. All the cash receipts. And all the receipts you record only in one journal, it is a receipts journal. And when it comes to the payments, payments you have recorded in two places. One is in the payment journal. There you record the checks payments. And then petty cash payment. There you record the cash payment. And in addition to that, when recording cash transactions, to record the cash transaction, do we need any other journals? Other than these three, do we need any other journal to record the cash transaction? Yes or no? Cash transactions record, can you record all cash transactions through these three journals? Do we need any journal? Very good, Ravi. You need what? Yes, general journal. Even in the general journal, what? Cash transfer. Now, if you take an example, a bank charge is deducted by the bank, right? If it is omitted from the books of accounts, you know that you are not in the positions of recording them in the payment journal or even in the petty cash payment journal. But it has to be recorded in a journal. Therefore, bank charges, checkbook charges, stand-in order payment, direct deposit, direct remittance, errors in the cash control, all these are cash transactions, but none of these can be recorded in any of these three special journals. So then where you record them? In the general journal. Therefore, the general journal also will be used in recording the cash transactions, right? General journal also will be used in recording the cash transaction, that you need to understand. And at the same time, under the same cash transaction, we studied another thing, which is bank reconciliation statement. How do you call it? Bank reconciliation statement. So then you are studying the bank reconciliation statement as well under this, right? When the receipts and the payment journal balance you take into the cash control account, and the cash control account closing balance should agree with the bank statement. If it is not agreed with the bank statement, what is received from the bank, you have to prepare the bank reconciliation process. So then business when transactions nearly 70%, now you know how to record. Because nearly 70% cash transactions no. Dewa dannawa bookkeeping part එක ඉගෙන ගත්තා. එතකොට transaction එකක් වුණාම ඒකට අදාළ source document එක මොකක්ද? ඒක මොන journal එකේද record කරන්නේ? ඊට පස්සේ ඒකේ record වෙච්ච record වෙන්න බැරි දේවල් කොහෙද record කරන්නේ? ඊට පස්සේ balance එක confirm කරගන්නේ කොහොමද? මේ හැමදේම අපි කතා කරා. එතකොට පුතා you have verified and recorded all the cash transactions. You have verified and recorded all cash transactions. Right? And now today onwards we are going to discuss what are the journals that you're supposed to maintain, what credit transactions. අපි දැන් මතක තියාගන්න හිට class එකේදී අපි අර common class එකේදී අපි කතා කරන bank reconciliation past papers. We do the bank reconciliation past papers from tomorrow discussion, from Friday discussions, right? So then when it's come to the credit transaction, what are the journals you maintain in recording the credit transaction? What are the journals you maintain in recording the credit transaction? One is what? Purchases journal. So the credit transactions will be recorded in separate journals. Credit transactions will be recorded in separate journals, right? You can't record them in the cash, the journals that you maintain for the cash transaction. And what are the transaction? What are the journals that you have in recording the credit transaction? One is a purchases journal. Next, sales journal. What's next? Sales journal. Next one, purchases return. You also know this as return outward journal. But we have a special transaction. Here you record only the credit purchases, credit sales, credit purchases return, and sales return journal. So you call this as return inward journal. And at the same time, return inwards journal, sales return. If you did the credit sales return, that will be recorded in the sales return journal. May hatarama special journals. Special journals. Make me tunamat special journals. Right. Now my question, do we need anything else? Do we need anything else to record the credit transaction? Yes or no? Do we need anything else? Yes. What that is? That is a general journal. In the general journal, basically you are supposed to record what? Any transactions, anything you can record in the general journal. Not even the credit transaction, not even the cash transactions, right? Then other method Monday hari Thursday hari sessions api kata karagena yanne. How to maintain the purchases journal, how to maintain the sales journal, sales return, purchases return, and the general journal. So these general journal method di lokuna kata karene, but here we going to talk about that as well. Hope you can understand, right? Enang may process එක අපි ඉවර කරේ මොකක්ද? ඇත්තටම 70% විතර cash transactions bookkeeping part එක අපි කතා කරලා ඉවරයි දැන් නේ. ඒවා ledger එකට copy කරන විදිය, ඒවා verify කරන විදියත් අපි කතා කරාමේ. Now we need to move into credit transaction. මේකේදී අපි debtors control, creditors control සේමත් කතා කරනවා. Here we talk about the cash control. The sales purchases is and debtors creditors ne. So you do the debtors control and the creditors control counts. Got it? Same as this, right? Okay. Can you quickly draw this? Now 5 minutes then na make a and the gun. Ma make khalanu tara den nathi, but again just do it, please. Purchases journal, right? Puta, what you know about the purchases? That is the first journal we are going to discuss under the credit transactions. Could you tell me what you know about the purchases journal? In one of the examinations, they have asked this type of a question. Purchases journal is a journal in which you record all the purchases. Purchases journal is a journal in which you record all the purchases. My question, is that statement true? Like Harida, is it true? Purchases journal is a journal in which you record all the purchases. No, that particular statement is false. Why? Look at this. Look at this. Puta, when you come to the purchases, purchases are two types. When it comes to the purchases, purchases are two types. Purchases. One is what? Cash purchases. The other one is what? Credit purchases. But when it say all the purchases, it has two, cash and credit. But we have a special journal to record the cash purchases. That is what? Payment journal. Cash purchases will be recorded in which journal? In the payment journal. When you do the cash purchases, what will happen? You are just paying the payment by the time you purchase it. So then you make the payment, it will be recorded in the payment journal. Therefore, keep in mind, cash purchases will not be recorded where? In the purchases journal, it will be recorded in the payment journal. And then in the purchases journal, what do we record? In the purchases journal, what do we record? Only the credit purchases. And that statement is true or false? That statement is true or false? False. In the purchases journal, what you record? Only the credit purchases. But you record only the credit purchases. Hope you can understand. Right. What do you mean by the purchases journal? What do you mean by the purchases journal? Purchases journal is a special journal in which you record all the credit purchases. We do not record the cash purchases. We do not record all the purchases. Then in the purchases journal is a specific journal. There you record only the credit purchases. Cash purchases, that will be recorded in the payment journal. That will be recorded in the payment. Right. Could you write this down? Could you write this down? Right. Here you can write that. Define the purchases journal. There you can say purchases journal is a special journal. Purchases journal is a special journal in which purchases journal is a special journal in which all the credit purchases are recorded. In which all the credit purchases are recorded. In which all the credit purchases are recorded. Is that clear? It's a special journal in which you record all the credit purchases. Purchases journal is a special journal in which you record all the credit purchases. Hope you can understand. Is that clear for you? Yes or no? Yes. Correct. Put note cash purchases will be recorded in the payment journal. Cash purchases will be recorded in the payment journal. Cash purchases will be recorded in the payment journal. Payment journal. Hope you can understand. Clear now? Right. So it's a journal that you record in which you record all the cash purchases. Right. Then define purchases. That's the next question. One of the purchases can purchases journal record credit purchases. The purchases then in accounting we use some words, and those words are generally available, right? In our general language. Purchases I purchase some clothes, I purchase some foods, I purchase a motor vehicle, I purchase a land, right? So then you use that particular word. But when it's come to the accounting, we have a completely different meaning for it. Accounting වලදී purchases කියන දේ සහ අපි සාමාන්‍ය ජීවිතයේදී purchases කියන දේ අතර වෙනසක් තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අපි හරියටම දැනගන්න ඕනේ what exactly the term of purchases. Otherwise you might mix up. මේක කොහේවත් තියෙන වචනයක් නෙමෙයි. අපි ජෙනරලි පාවිච්චි කරන වචනයක් නෙමෙයි. නේද? අපි ඩෙබිට් ක්‍රෙඩිට් කියන වචන දෙක accounting වලදී විතරයි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ. අතකොට අපිට ටෙක්නිකල් ටර්ම් එක ලොකුවට දැනගන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ. You what I'm saying? හැබැයි there are some words that we use only in accounting, but there are some words that we use from the general language, but it has a completely different meaning. It has a completely different meaning. Clear? Or තේරෙනවද මම කියන දේ? ඒක තමයි අපි මෙතන කතා කරන්නේ. That is what we going to discuss. Hope you can understand. Clear now? Right. එහෙනම් පුතා, what is purchases? Right. දැන් අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් නම් කියන්නේ හොඳට අහගෙන ඉන්න. අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් නම් කියන්නේ ඕනම දෙයක් අපි මිලදී ගත්තාම purchase එකක් කියලා. හැබැයි පුතා accounting වලදී purchases කියන එකට completely different meaning එකක් තියෙනවා. It has a completely different meaning. What that is? මේ බලන්න. Accounting say for you to consider anything as a purchases, it should satisfy two main characteristics. First thing, you should buy something with the intentions of reselling. You should buy something with the intentions of reselling. නැවත විකිණීමේ පරමාර්ථයෙන් අරගෙන තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ වගේම right? ඒ වගේම you have to buy something with the intentions of reselling. නැවත විකිණීමේ පරමාර්ථයෙන් අරගෙන තියෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒක තමයි පළවෙනි දේ. දෙවෙනි එක මොකක්ද? What's the next? There should be a reselling intention. What's the next thing? අනිත් එක මොකක්ද? අනිත් එක පුතා in the ordinary business activity. ඒ කියන්නේ නැවත කිරීමේ පරමාර්ථයෙන් සාමාන්‍ය ව්‍යාපාර කටයුත්තකදී නැවත විදා garment factory එකක if you take a garment factory, if you buy the cloth or the material, why you buy it? To reselling in ordinary course of business. What is the ordinary course of business of a garment factory? Yeah, selling the garments. Now, if you buy something to resell with the intent, if you buy something to resell in the ordinary course of business, that is what you identified as what? Yeah, purchases. That is what you identified as a purchase. How we define the purchases? How we define the purchases? Item purchase with the intentions of reselling in ordinary business activity. අපි definition එක ලියාගෙන examples එක කතා කරමු. Purchases කියන එක හරියට ඉගෙන ගමු. ලියන්න. Define purchases. Define purchases. There you right? Purchases are items purchased with the intentions of reselling in ordinary business activity, with the intentions of reselling in the ordinary business activity. Item purchase, the intentions of reselling in the ordinary business activity. Right. ඔයා නැවත විකිණීමේ පරමාර්ථය සාමාන්‍ය ව්‍යාපාර කටයුත්ත කරලා නැවත විකිණීමේ පරමාර්ථයෙන් ඔයා මිලදී ගත්තොත් යමක් ඒකට තමයි purchases කියලා කියන්නේ. Right. Now listen to this. පුතා මට කියන්න, can you identify these as a purchases? මට කියන්න මේවා purchases කියලා අඳුර ගන්න පුළුවන්ද අපේ definition එකට වැටෙනවා. Fabric bought by a garment factory. Garment factory bought the fabrics. A garment factory bought the fabric. Can you record it in the on credit basis or whatever? Do you classify that as a purchase? Yes or no? Yes. Yes. The fabric you buy to resell in ordinary business activity. Fabric you buy to resell in the ordinary business activity. Right. You make the garments out of that and you gonna sell it. Right. Fabric. What's the next thing? Stationery purchased by the garment factory. Stationery purchased by the garment factory. Can you consider that as a purchases? Can you consider that as a purchases, Sudha? No, you can't consider that as a purchase. Why? Stationery you don't buy to resell. Garment factory do not buy to resell. Garment factory ka purchase karanna resell karanna. Garment factory use karane na. Ena puta, if you purchase some stationeries on credit basis, if you purchase some stationeries on credit basis, can you record it in the purchases journal? No. Why? Because it's not a purchase. It's a purchase එකක්වත් නෙමෙයි. You can't record them in the purchases journal, right? Okay, purchases. ඊළඟ එක garment factory bought motor vehicle on credit basis or cash basis or whatever. My question, is it a purchase? Motor vehicle purchased by the garment factory? No. හැබැයි මෙහෙම වුණොත් හොඳට අහගෙන ඉඳලා මේ ප්‍රශ්න උත්තර දෙන්න. කල්පනා කරලා උත්තර දෙන්න, හදිසි වෙන්න එපා. Garment factory bought the motor vehicle with the intentions of reselling. අල්බල වෙන්නේ නැතු මේකට උත්තර දෙන්න. Garment factory bought a motor vehicle but they have the intentions of reselling. දැන් අපි හිතමු ඒගොල්ලන්ට ආරංචියක් වෙන motor vehicle import කරගෙන නවත්තන්න යන්නේ කියලා. ඒගොල්ලෝ motor vehicles දෙකක් එතකොට ටග්ගාල price එක වැඩි වෙනවනේ imports නවත්තපු ගමන් ඇතුලේ තියෙන product එක demand එක වැඩි වෙනවා. you know the demand supply theory නේ. supply එක අඩු වෙනවා. ඒක demand එක එතකොට වැඩිනේ. එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? now the price will go up. එතන supply එකේ අඩුවක් නිසා අනිවාර්යෙන් price එක වැඩි වෙනවා. නේද? එතකොට මම අහන ප්‍රශ්නේ ඒ හින්දා ඒගොල්ලෝ ගන්නවා ඒක. motor vehicles අරගෙන වැඩි වුණාම විකුණන්න අර ගන්නවා. මම අහන ප්‍රශ්නේ එතන motor vehicles ගත්තාම when you buy the motor vehicle what it is? මොනවාද? Can you record it in the can you consider that as a purchases? Yes. You'll are saying no. Why is that? ඇයි එක purchases වෙන්නේ නැත්තේ? මම කියනවා motor garment factory එකක් motor vehicle එකක් ගත්තත් නැවත විකුණන්න ඒක purchase වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඇයි ඒ? Why is that? What's the reason? ඔයගොල්ලෝ අතරේ හරි. Garment factory bought a motor vehicle. Intention is resell, but still you say that will not be considered as a purchase. Why is that? Very good. Because it's not connected to the ordinary business. Garment factory එකක ordinary business එක මොකක්ද පුතා? Garment factory එකක ordinary business එක මොකක්ද? To sell the garments. හැබැයි එතකොට අන්න ඒ ordinary business එකේ නැවත විකුණන්න ගන්න දේවල් තමයි මොනවා කියලා කියන්නේද? purchases කියලා කියන්නේ. ඒතකොට reason intention එක විතරක් තිබ්බට වැඩක් නැහැ. එහෙනම් අපි දුන්න definition එකක් purchases are item purchase with the intentions of reselling in ordinary business activity. Underline කරගන්න මේ වචන දෙක. Reselling ordinary business activity. Underline those two words. Is it clear for you? Right. Good. Reselling intention. Hope you can understand. Right. Right. If you buy something with intention of reselling only, you can consider as a purchases. Purchases only cash purchases you record in the payment journal, and if it is a credit purchases you record them in the. So අපි දන්නවා අපි අර ව්‍යාපාරයක් විසින් මිලදී ගන්න සියලුම දේවල් purchase journal එකේ record කරන්න බෑ. ව්‍යාපාරයක් විසින් කරන ලබන සියලුම මිලදී ගැනීම purchases කියන category එකට දාන්න බෑ. ඒක දැන් තේරෙන්න ඕනේ. තේරුණා නේද? දැන් අපි හරියට මතකගත්තා මොකක්ද purchases කියලා කියන්නේ. And what you can record in the purchases journal. Right. Okay. Then puta, we will move into this transaction 3. State question number 3. State 4 items purchased by the business that cannot be recorded in the purchases journal. State 4 items purchased by the business but cannot be recorded in the purchases journal. ලියන්න බලන්න මේ question එක ටියුට් එක නැති කට්ටිය. State 4 items purchased by the business. State 4 items purchased by the business but cannot be recorded in the purchases journal. Right. මට කියන්නේ නම් මොනවද purchases journal එක record කරන්න බැරි අපි purchase කරන දේවල්. Give me an example. Item you buy but cannot be recorded in the purchases journal. They're asking for 2. What are they? What are them, Puta? First thing is what? Cash purchases. Can you record the cash purchases? Cash purchases record karanga bෑ. Because it will be recorded in the payment journal. Cash purchases. Ilangeka. Purchase of motor vehicle on cash basis. Purchase of motor vehicle on cash basis. Ekat record වෙන්න කොහෙද පුතා? In the payment journal. That also will be recorded in the payment journal. What next? Purchase of stationaries on credit basis. Purchase of stationaries on credit basis. That where you record in the general journal. Purchase of stationaries on credit basis where you record in the general journal. Right? Purchase of stationaries on cash basis that you can record in the payment journal. You can record in the payment journal. None of these you can record where? None of these you can record where? Yeah. In the purchases journal. එහෙනම් මේක අහන ප්‍රශ්නවලට දැන් මේකට තේරෙන්න ඕනේ අපි කරන ලබන සියලුම මිලදී ගැනීම purchases journal එකේ record කරන්නේ. We do not record every item that you purchase, right? You record some item or few items that you purchase on the credit basis on recording the purchases journal. Now, මට කියන්න මෙතනට වෙනකන් අපි කතා කරපු ටික clear ඔයගලන්ට. Is it clear before we move into the format පුතා? Right? Just let me know. Was it clear for you all? හරිද? Yahara, is it clear for you all? Erandi? Clear there? Julia? I need your response. What's the format of the purchases journal? That's the next thing we're going to discuss. Format of the purchases journal. Purchases journal ke format එක මොකක්ද? Format of the purchases journal. Right. We'll move into that. We knew about the receipts journal format, payment journal format, and the petty cash payment journal format, and now we're going to do purchases journal format. ගොඩාක් දේවල් ඉතින් මතක තියාගන්න වෙනවා ඔයාට. දැන් අවුරුදු දෙක ඇතුළත. දැන් මේවා මමුතෙන් මතක තියාගන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. ඉතින් හැමදාම අපි කරනකොට මේක ප්‍රැක්ටිස් එකෙන් ඔයාට එකතු වෙනවා. accounting වල strategy එක තමයි පුතා practice එක. මේක අතහැරලා දාලා හිටියොත් ඔයාට මේක කරගන්න හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. හැමදාම practice කරන්න. හැමදාම ගණන් හදන්න. do the questions again and again. Do questions again and again. Right? හරි. අපි ඔයාට guide කරන්නම්. So then you have the format. So මේක අපි කතා කරන්නේ we do the format for a business which is not registered with that. Right? What are the information you have there? You see purchases, journal. What information you have there? You get the date column and the invoice number, supplier, and the value. Those are the only information that you have. But in the purchases journal, if it is not registered with that, not registered with that. If it is not registered with that, this is the format of the purchase journal. Right? Can you draw this? Look at format of the purchases journal. Right. I hope that you have finished it. You are another. Okay, we'll now move into the question. Right, make it here you have a note in the tudes. Tudes segment collect karagana. Now tudes are available in every institutions, right? In Nigambo, Ogulanta me. Is there anyone from Jayala? Is there anyone from Jayala? Jayala kawra hari innada? It says note. When the business is not a VAT registered business, VAT on purchases cannot be claimed. Therefore, VAT portion cannot be claimed, right? VAT on purchases cannot be claimed. Therefore, VAT on purchases cannot be identified. It has to be VAT on purchases cannot be separately identified. Hari. අපි ඒක හැමම තියමු. VAT ගැන අපි කතා කරමු නැති නිසා අපි ඒක ගැන ඔලුව ගන්න නැතුව ඉමු. හරි. ඊළඟට කතා කරමු what is the source document for the purchases journal. මට කියන්න පුතා, can someone tell me what is the source document for the purchases journal? For the receipts journal, cash receipts. For the payment journal, payment voucher. For the petty cash payment journal, petty cash payment voucher. For the general journal, journal voucher. What is the source document for the purchases journal? Yes, very good, Melina. It's invoice. It's invoice. Invoice, very good. Purchase invoice කියලා එකක් ඇත්තටම තියෙනවද? අපි එකත් පොඩ්ඩක් බලමු. Is there anything called purchase invoice? මේ හදන්න. පුතා, in real sense දැන් අපි මේ purchase invoice කියන වචනේ O levels වලදී එහෙම පාවිච්චි කරනවා. ඇත්තටම purchase invoice, sales invoice කියලා දෙකක් නෑ. තියෙන එකයි. මොකක්ද තියෙන එක? That is invoice. How do you call it? Invoice. ඇත්තටම අපි ළඟ තියෙන්න පුතා invoice එක. ඇයි අපි invoice එකක් raise කරන්නේ? Why a business raises an invoice? ඇයි business එකක් invoice එකක් raise කරන්නේ? දැන් seller ගාව තියෙනවා නම් goods එකක්, stock item එකක්, එයාට ඒකේ ownership එක තියෙනවනේ. දැන් මම මේ marker pen එක purchase කරනවා. Assume I purchase this marker pen. එතකොට මේ marker pen එක purchase කරද්දී supplier මට මේක දීලා හරියන්නේ නැහැ. මේකේ ownership එකත් මට දෙන්න ඕනේ. එයා නිකම්ම මේ product එක මට දීලා හරියන්නේ නැහැ. He has to give me the ownership as well. නේ? දැන් මට මම මේවට මේ පෑන දෙන්න. marker pen එක ඔයාලට දෙනවා මේක ගන්න කියලා. එතකොට ඒක ඔයාලා දැන් physically තිබ්බට ඒක ownership එක ඔයාලා නැහැනේ. මට ඕන වෙලාවක ඉල්ල ගන්න පුළුවන්. නේ? මට ඒක ඔයාලට ඕන වෙලාවක ඉල්ල ගන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ownership එක මා වුණොත් මම මේක physically දෙනවා. එතනින් එහාට මට මේක කිසිම අයිතියක් නැහැ. ඒතකොට මම මේ stock එකට තියෙන මේ product එකට තියෙන ownership එක අතහැරලා තමයි ඔයාලට දෙන්න ඕනේ. තේරුණාද? I to release the ownership, I to transfer the ownership. එතකොට යන්නේ ownership එක transfer කරන්න කටවචනෙන් බෑ. Right? You can't do it by mouth. So then what you have to do? You have to raise something called a document. That document only you identify as what? කියන්න පුතා. Invoice. අන්න මේ document එකට අපි කියනවා මොකක් කියලාද? Invoice එක කියලා. Invoice is a document you raise to transfer the ownership from seller to buyer. Seller to buyer. So seller again buyer to ownership transfer කරන්න use කරන document එකට අපි කියනවා මොකක් කියලාද? How do you call it? කියන්න. Invoice. How do you call it? Invoice. So invoice is a document that you raise when you're selling the. එතකොට පුතා invoice එකේ date එකක් mention කරලා දෙන්න අපි හිතමු 20th January 2021 කියලා. එතකොට ඒකේ දැන් නම් computerized හින්දා print එකකුත් එනවනේ. date එකකුත් print වෙනවනේ. time එකකුත් print වෙනවනේ. එතකොට ඒ කියන්නේ මේ දවසේ මෙදාට කලින් මේක seller ගේ, මේ දවසේ මෙදාට කලින් එක buyer ගේ. නේද? එතකොට මේ invoice එක copies දෙකකින් seller හදනවා. original එක දෙනවා කාටද? buyer ට. carbon copy එක තියාගන්නවා කවුද? seller. මේක raise කරන්නේ අයි to confirm that ownership of the goods has been transferred from seller to buyer. එතකොට ඔච්චරයි. එතකොට අතර invoices දෙකක් නැහැ. එකම එකේ copies දෙකක්. ownership එක transfer වෙන document එකක් raise කරන්න ඕනේ. ownership එක transfer වෙන document එකක් raise කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒ raise කරන document එකට අපි කියනවා invoice කියලා. ඒ invoice එකේ original copy එක buyer ට දෙනවා. carbon copy එක seller තියාගන්නවා. එතකොට buyer ගාව තියෙන original copy එකට අපි කියනවා purchase invoice. customer ගාව තියෙන carbon copy එකට අපි කියනවා මොනවාද? sales invoice. How do you call it? Kiyana sales invoice. Is that clear? Right. එතකොට ඇත්තටම මේ වචන දෙක දැන් අපි පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ නෑ වැඩිපුර invoice. මොකද එකම document එකේ copies දෙකක් නිසා. නේද? එහෙනම් පුතා what is a document that you raise in identifying the credit purchases? What's the document you raise? Kiyana invoice. Within bracket you write purchase invoice. Within bracket you write purchase invoice. Purchase invoice. Is it clear? Right. ඊළඟට ප්‍රශ්නයක් අහනවා what is the purpose of the purchase invoice? මොකද්ද පුතා purchase invoice එකේ purpose එක? What is a ටික ලියා ගන්න source document is a source document for the purchases journal purchase invoice. Then what is the purpose of the purchase invoice? මොකද්ද purchase invoice එකේ purpose එක? To confirm that what ownership of the goods has been transferred from seller to buyer. Lian. To confirm that ownership of the goods the ownership of the goods has been transferred from seller to buyer. Stock එකේ ownership එක transfer වුණා කියලා prove කරන්න. දැන් මම මේ mark pen එක ඔයාලට විකුණනවා නම් මේ mark pen එකට අමතරව ඔයාලට invoice එකක් දෙන්න ඕනේ. මොකද invoice එක දුන්නේ නැත්නම් මේ mark pen එක ඔයාලා ළඟ තිබ්බට ඒක මගේ. ownership එක transfer වුණේ නැහැ. ඒතර මේකට මම invoice එකක් දුන්නොත් ඒ date එකට කලින් ඒක මගේ seller ගේ date එකට පස්සේ ඔයාගේ ownership එක මාරු වුණා කියලා issue කරන්න confirm කරන්න ලියන document එක තමයි invoice එක. දැන් අපි land එකක් purchase කරලා deed එක transfer කරනවා. motor vehicle එකකත් නේද? ඒ අදාළ registration එක transfer කරනවා. ඒතකොට ඒක ලොකු process එකක්. එතකොට ඔය වගේ දෙයක් කාල් කිලෝ එකක් උනන්න තියාගත්තොත් බෑනේ. ownership එක transfer කරද්දි lawyer එක sign කරනවාද කාල් කිලෝ එකක් ගන්නෙද්දි? එහෙම කරන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි there has to be a way නේ. ownership එක transfer කරන්න විදිහක් තියෙන. ඉතින් ලේසි විදිහ අපි අඳුරගත්තා. මොකක්ද? invoice. ඒක අපි use කරනවා for the account. Clear? Right. Okay, ඊළඟට පුතා මෙතන අපි කතා කරනවා here we gonna talks about what is the purchase invoice. බලන්න purchase invoice එකේ format එක. You have the seller. ඊළඟට ඒකේ ownership එක transfer කරනවා from seller ගෙන් buyer ට. ඊළඟට ඒකේ carbon copy එක seller ගාව තියා ගන්නවා, that is called sales invoice. ඒකේ original එක buyer ට දෙනවා, that is called purchase invoice. Right? Purchase invoice. Right. එහෙනම් මේකේ ආපහු අපි කතා කරොත් what is the purpose of purchase invoice? That is to confirm ownership of the goods has been transferred from seller to buyer. seller ගෙන් buyer ට ownership එක transfer වුණා කියලා කියන්න raise කරන document එකට තමයි අපි invoice එක කියලා කියන්නේ. පැහැදිලිද? right. okay, මෙතෙන්ට නම් කතා කරපු ටික clear ද? is it part of the questions? දැන් අපි කතා කරන්න යන්නේ පුතා how to record credit purchases in the purchases journal. right. හරි. මම පොඩි example එකක් ඔයාලට කතා කරන්නම් and after that you should be able to continue the question. After that we will discuss it. right. Nadun business made the following credit purchases during the month of January 2020. right. following information එක දීලා තියෙනවා. Credit purchase from Jaga 600,000. List price, that is the list price. Trade discount is 10%. Right. මොකද්ද පුතා list price කියලා කියන්නේ? What do you mean the list price? මේක අපි කලිනුත් කතා කරා අපි say receipts journal, purchases payment journal කතා කරද්දී. Now what do you mean by the list price? සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේ list price එකට සිංහලෙන් කියනවා ලකුණු කළ මිල කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ භාණ්ඩයේ තියෙන ගාණ. ඒක අපි කියනවා maximum retail price කියලා. How do you call it? Yes, before deducting the trade discounts. Very good. Maximum retail price. දැන් මේ market pen එකේ price එක list කරලා තියෙනවා 90 කියලා. හොඳට අහගන්න මේක. මේ market pen එකේ price එක list කරලා තියෙනවා 90. මම හිතන්නේ ඔයාලට පෙනේ මේක කියලා. 90 කියලා. එතකොට දැන් මම හොඳට බලන්න මම මේ කියන දේ. මම මේ මාක පෙන්ස් ගන්න පාවිච්චි කරන්න නම් මේ මම මේ මාක පෙන් එක ගන්න පාවිච්චි කරන්න නම් මට ඒක පර්චේසස් ජර්නල් එකක රෙකෝඩ් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? හොඳට අහගන්න. මේ ට්‍රේඩ් ඩිස්කවුන්ට්ස් කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියන එක හොඳට අහගන්න. ප්‍රැක්ටිකලි තේරුම් ගන්න. දැන් මම මේ 90 දීලා මේ මාක පෙන් එක ගන්නවා බෝඩ් එකේ ලියන්න. මම මේක ක්‍රෙඩිට් ගන්නෙ. මට මේක පර්චේස් ජර්නල් එකක රෙකෝඩ් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? පුළුවන්ද? නැහැ. You can't. It's not a purchase for me. It's not a purchase for me. Why? I did not buy this to resell. මේක නැවත විකුණන්න මම ගත්තේ නැහැ. So then this is not a purchase. This is not a purchase. Hope you can understand. Clear? හරි. දැන් මම මේක ගන්නවා හොඳට අහගන්න. මම මේක ගන්නවා නැවත විකුණන්න. I purchase this to resell. I purchase this to resell. නැවත විකුණන්න මම මේක ගන්නවා. එතකොට මට මේක රෙකෝඩ් කරන්න පුළුවන් ද පර්චේස් ජර්නල් එකේ? ඔව් මගේ මම මේක පර්චේස් කරන්නේ ආපහු විකුණන්න. මගේ normal business එකත් ඒක. So then I can record it in the purchases journal. හරිද? දැන් තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ මම මේක 90 වලට අරගෙන දැන් මේක තියෙන්නේ 90 නේ. මේක ප්‍රයිස් කරලා තියෙන 90 වලට පේනවා නම් පේන්නේ නැති වෙයි. ඔතන තියෙන ප්‍රයිස් එක 90. දැන් මම මේක 90 වලට අරගත්තාම හරිද? මගේ සෙලර් මට මේක 90 වලට දුන්නොත් එතකොට මම කීයද විකුණන්නේ මේක? 100ට විකුණන්න බෑනේ. එතකොට මෙයාමට අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මේක දෙන්න ඕනේ 90ට වඩා අඩු වෙනද නැද්ද? එයා මේකට අනිවාර්යෙන් දෙන්න ඕනේ 90 වලට වඩා අඩු වෙනද නැද්ද පුතා? ඔව් අඩුයි. නේ? එතකොට ට්‍රේඩ් ඩිස්කවුන්ට් එකක් ට්‍රාන්සැක්ෂන් එකක possible ද නැද්ද? කම්පල්සරිද නැද්ද? කම්පල්සරි. හැම තිස්සෙම මේක වෙනවා. එහෙම නැත්නම් කොහොමද බිස්නස් එකක් යන්නේ? දැන් මේක විකුණන්න පුළුවන් උපරිම ගාන maximum retail price. The maximum retail price of this is how much? 90. So then I can sell this at 90. So then to sell this at 90, that is the maximum selling price that I can sell. So to sell it at 90, can I buy it 90? No. You can't buy at 90 and sell at 90. 90ට අරගෙන 90ට දෙන්න. එහෙනම් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම business එකක credit transactions වෙද්දී අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම trade discounts compulsory ද නැද්ද පුතා? compulsory. හැම එකම ඒක compulsory. purchases වලදී sales වලදී ඒක තියෙනවා. දැන් ඔයා final consumption එකකට sell කරනවා නම් trade discounts දෙන එක අනිවාර්ය නෑ. තේරුණාද? sales කරද්දී හැබැයි purchases වලදී අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම trade discount එකක් තියෙන්නම ඕනේද නැද්ද? purchases වලදී trade discount එකක් තියෙන්නම ඕනේද නැද්ද පවන්? පවන් net mean is it compulsory or not? That is compulsory. Otherwise you can't do the business. ඒකයි ඔය කියන්නේ. එතකොට මේකේ list price කියලා කියන්නේ 90. මාක පෙන් එකේ list price කියලා කියන්නේ 90. ඒක තමයි ලකුණු කළමිට. ඒකෙන් අපි අඩු කරනවා trade discount 10. එහෙනම් invoice price is 80. එතකොට මම මේ පෑනක් හම් වෙන රුපියල් 80 ගානේ. එතකොට 80ට අරගෙන මම නෝට් කරනවා. හරි දැන් මට තියෙන ප්‍රශ්නේ when I record it in the purchases journal, when I record these purchases in the purchases journal as a purchases amount, I should record 90 or 80. මේ බලන්න. list price එක කියන්නේ trade discount එක අයින් කරන්න කලින් price එකනේ. එතකොට list price එකේ trade discounts අඩු කරාට පස්සේ you get the invoice price. You get the invoice price. පැහැදිලිද? Is it clear for you? Right. මට කියන්නේ do we need to record the in the purchase journal you record the list price the invoice price? ඔය record කරන්න ඕනේ list price එකද invoice price එකද? What you supposed to record? Invoice price. List price you can't record. මේක වැඩක් නෑ නේ. මේක අපිට අදාළ price යන්නේ. මේකට වෙන්නේ නැතිව විකුණන්නේ. නමුත් ඔය purchase කරේ මොකටද? Invoice price එකට. එහෙනම් how do we record this thing in the purchases journal පුතා? From the invoice price, you subtract the trade discounts, then you get the invoice. That's the purchases journal date, and you get the invoice number, supplier, and the value. Supplier and the value. Is that clear? Right. You purchased this on 25th January 2020 from Kamal. Let's say the invoice number 259. And how much the value? That is 80. That is 80. Right? You directly find the invoice price and record. Invoice price is the price after deducting the trade discounts. List price is price before deducting the trade discounts. Clear now? Right. අපි තව එක explain කරනවා. Now if you move into the question, If you move into the question, right, it says credit purchases from Jagat have given the list price. If the list price is given before recording them in the purchases journal, you need to subtract the trade discounts and find the invoice price and record. But when it's come to the next purchases, they have directly given the invoice price. They have directly given you the invoice price. And now what are you supposed to do? Subtract the trade discounts. So no need to subtract the trade discounts there. Invoice price එක දීලා තියෙනවා නම් ඒ කියන්නේ trade discount එක අයින් කරපු price එක තමයි ඔය දීලා තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි ජයසෝමනගේ credit purchases අපෝ දීලා තියෙන list price එකට. හරි. මම ඔයාලට විනාඩි 5ක් දෙන්නම්. I'll give 5 minutes to prepare only the purchases journal. How to have the private ledger accounts and the general ledger accounts we'll discuss. Right. Take 5 minutes and complete up to this point. Right. We'll start the discussion. What is the format of the purchases journal? What information you are supposed to have there? Purchases journal. You get the date, invoice number, supplier, and the value. Right? We'll do the cash in rupees. Right. So that's the format of the purchases journal. Right. What's the first question? What does it say? On 10th January. On 10th January, you have purchased from Jehan, invoice price, list price is 600,000. Right. On 10th January, you have purchased from Jehan. But how much is the list price? So the list price is rupees 600,000, and you are giving the trade discount of 10%, that is 60. Then how much will be the invoice price? Invoice price is how much? That is 540. And purchases journal should be updated with the invoice price. Can I do this question in rupees 1000, rupees 540? You can see with trade discounts will never ever recorded in the purchase journal. We explain it, right? This part is completely irrelevant. What you supposed to record then? Only the list price. Only the list price. That is how much? Rupees 540,000. Right. And now we need a credit purchase from Jehan, of which list price is 600,000. But we do not record the list price. You know the reason, because it's not related for us. And we directly record the invoice. So may other class recording මම group එක කෙලින්ම දාන්නම් recording එකත් එතකොට ඒක බලන්න. Right. Okay, what is next? The next thing, on 17 January you sorry, පළවෙනි එක ජගත් ගෙන්නේ නේද කරලා තියෙන්නේ. Jagat, he was a creditor. Then on 17 Jan you have purchased from Jehan, that is 500,000. That is the invoice price, right? Invoice price. From Jan you purchase 500,000, but that 500,000 is what? But that 500,000 is what, Puta? That is your what? Invoice price. Invoice price is the price after deducting the trade discounts. The list price has not been given. If the invoice price is given, do we need to deduct the trade discounts again? No. Invoice price is a price after deducting the trade discounts. That means trade discounts has already been deducted. So then how much you are supposed to record here? Only 500,000. Only 500,000, right? Can you have a small note? Can you have a small note? මෙතන අපිට ආයෙ අඩු කරන්න දෙයක් නැහැ. මේකෙන් එහෙම 5% ආයෙ අඩු කරන්න එපා. මේ list price එක invoice price එක කියන එක ගාන දීලා තියෙනවාට අඳුර ගන්න list price එක invoice price එක අතර වෙනස. invoice price කියලා කියන්නේ පුතා invoice price එක දීලා තියෙන එක කියන list trade discount එක දරවත් අඩු කරලා ඉවරයි එකෙන් ආ. right. Have a note. Invoice price is the price after deducting the trade discounts. Invoice price is the price after deducting the trade discount. Therefore, from 17 January purchase, trade discounts should not be deducted. That has already been deducted. Right. If you can't understand the last transaction, last credit purchases you did in the month, that is credit purchase 28 January credit purchase from Jayasumana. He's given the list price, so that it was given list price or the invoice price, so the list price rupees 400,000. They have given the list price rupees 400,000. And I'm making trade discounts. The trade discount percentage is 40, and how much is the invoice price? 360. So you record directly the invoice price of 360. Right. So then saying Jayasumana, then how much you are supposed to record? 360. Right. Now we have recorded all the purchases there. Then what we are supposed to do? Take the total of the journals. After recording all the transaction in the purchases journal, you are supposed to get the total. Total is how much, Uta? 8 million, 9 million, 1.4 million. You all can use the calculators in taking the totals. 31st January, total posted to general ledger. I total general ledger. 31st January, total posted to general ledger. Total posted to the general ledger. Clear? Right. Then what are you supposed to do next? After recording every transaction in the journal, it need to be copied to the ledger. Source document, then you record them in the journal, and from the journal you copy to the ledger. Ledger Ledger has two parts. What are they? Private ledger and the general ledger. Ledger has two parts. Private ledger ke individual debtors and the creditors. In the private ledger, what you have? Only the individual debtors as well as the creditors. General ledger has all 5 types of ledger accounts: liability, equity, income, and expenses. So if in your ledgers, individual debtors and creditors are venama ledger එකක් තියෙනවා. Subsidiary ledger, private ledgers. ඊළඟට business එකේ complete ledger එකක් වෙනම තියෙනවා. That is called general. That is a main ledger. From that only you get the information and preparing the financial statements. මේ general ledger එක ගැන private ledger එක ගැන නියමෙටම කතා කරනවා. අපි controls account පාඩම ගන්නද්දී. ඒ නිසා මම මේ discussion එක ඉවර වෙද්දී මට general ledger එක ගැන private ledger එක ගැන comprehensive idea එකක් එන්නේ නැහැ. නමුත් ඔයා දැනගෙන ඉන්නවා ledgers දෙකක් තියෙනවා. ඒකේ individual transactions record වෙන්නේ private individual ledger accounts maintain වෙන්නේ private ledger එකේ, double entries record වෙන්නේ general ledger එකේ. So then you have something like that. Clear now? පැහැදිලිද? Right. හරි. Ledger has two parts. What? Private ledger and the general ledger. එතකොට general ledger එකේ private ledger එකේ අපි ළඟ ඉන්නේ කවුද පුතා? creditors ලගේ accounts විතරයි. creditors ලා කී දෙනෙක් ඉන්නවද? මේකට අපි කියන creditors ledger. Creditors ledger කියන්නේ creditors විතරයි. How many ledger accounts you have? 3 ledger accounts. Jagat, Jehan and Jayasomana. Jagat, Jehan and Jayasomana. What are you supposed to do then? On 10th January, you did a purchase from Jagat. මට කියන්න Jagatin credit purchase එකක් කරොත් අපි මොකද කරන්න ඕනේ පුතා? It has to be credited to the Jagat accounts on the same day, same purchases rupees 540,000. දැන් අපි මේ ගාන හැදද්දී purchases journal එක ඉවර කරලානේ මේක හැදුවේ. නමුත් මතක තියාගන්න මෙතනින් එහාට purchases journal එකේ transaction එක update කරපු ගමන් එදාම individual ledger accounts update කරන්න ඕනේ. බලන්න මම දාලා තියෙන දවස 10th January 10th January. ඒ කියන්නේ එකම දවසනේ මේක වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ හින්දා මෙතනින් එහාට හදන හැම ගානකම journal එකත් හදන්න individual check accounts උත් හදන්න. transaction එක වෙච්ච ගමන් journal එකේ record කරන්න individual check accounts update කරන්න. journal එකේ record කරන්න individual check accounts update කරන්න. general ledger you update at the end of the month. Right. And now you did another transaction from Dhan on 10th January. Purchases how much? It's 500. Then on 28th January you did a credit purchase 360. Right. Clear now? Okay. Purchase. Right. Creditors ledger you are passing a single entry. In the creditors ledger you are passing a single entry. Hope you can understand. Right. And as soon after the transaction you record in the journal, it need to be updated to the creditors ledger account. Right. Okay. I'll give 2 minutes. Just complete this question. 2 minutes are going to complete current question. Right. But after recording them in the individual ledger accounts, what you're supposed to do is this particular total you need to copy to where? To the general ledger. General ledger. පුතා individual ledger accounts වල individual ledger විතරයි තියෙන්නේ. මේක පාස් කරන්නේ single entry එකක් විතරයි. General creditors ledger එක අපි පාස් කරන්නේ single entry එකක් විතරයි. Right? හැබැයි in the general ledger you have to pass the double entries and you are recording the totals. එහෙනම් බලන්න එකම transaction එක ledgers දෙකක record වෙනවා. මෙතන record වෙන individual figures, මෙතන record වෙන total. Right. මට කියන්න what are the two ledger accounts that you wanted to maintain when copying the purchases journal to the ledger? What are the two ledger accounts? One is a purchases account, the other one trade payable control account. This is 1,400. This is 1,400. Total of the purchases journal 1,400. It has to be debited here on 31st Jan. Saying trade payable control account, it's 1,400. Credit here on 31st Jan. Saying purchases, that is 1,400. Total of the purchases journal, purchases account debit, trade payable control accounts credit, purchases account debit, and the trade payable control account credit. මේ බලන්න. දැන් එතකොට creditors ළඟ records දෙකක් තියෙනවා මේ. creditors control account එකක් තියෙනවා, individual ledger accounts උත් තියෙනවා. creditors control account එකක් තියෙනවා, individual ledger accounts උත් තියෙනවා. එතකොට control account එක total එක record කරනවා, individual ledger accounts වල කියන්න. individual ledger accounts වල වෙන වෙනම individual figures record කරනවා. control account update කරනවා month end එකේ, individual ledger accounts update කරනවා transaction එක වෙච්ච දවසේ. දැන් මේකෙත් හේතුව ledger accounts තුනක් තියෙද්දි අපිට ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. හැබැයි ledger accounts එකේ creditors ලා 300ක් හිටියොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? මේ credit එකේ balance එක ඉක්මනට අපිට හොයාගන්න විදිහක් නැහැ. financial statements අතදී හරි අමාරුයි. creditors accounts 300ක් අපිට balance කරන්න වෙනවා. you have to balance 300 creditors accounts to get the creditors balance. But now if you have a single account, you can get it. Again, when you are preparing the financial statements, having the control account is pretty much easier. හැබැයි පුතා එතකොට මගෙන් අහන්න පුළුවන් එහෙනම් ඉතින් control account එකක් විතරක් තියාගෙන හිටියාම ඉවරයිනේ. බෑ. control account එකක් විතරක් තියාගන්නත් බෑ. හේතුව ඇයි දන්නවද? control account එකේ තියෙන total එකනේ. එතකොට අපි කොහොමද දැනගන්නේ මේ එක එක creditors කට වෙන වෙනම ගෙවන්න තියෙන ගාණ කීයද කියලා? එහෙනම් control account එක තිබ්බත් නැතත් individual ledger accounts කොහොමද තියෙන්න ඕනේ. මේවා මම කතා කරන්නම් ඉස්සරහට. Right? Individual ledger accounts කොහොමද තියෙනවා? creditors accounts දෙන්නත් පුළුවන් නැති වෙන, but anyhow you have to have the individual ledger accounts. Clear? හැබැයි when you have when your individual debtors are higher, when you have the when your number of debtors or the creditors are higher, and then what you can do is again ලොකු ගානක individual debtors creditors ලා ඉන්නවා නම් ඒගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොම general ledger එක maintain කරනවා වෙනුවට ඒගොල්ලන්ව ගලවලා අයින් කරනවා වෙනම ledger එකකට. අපිට ඕන නම් පුළුවන් ඒක වෙනම එක්කෙනෙක්ට දාන්න එක maintain කරන්නත් single account එකක් මෙතන යනවා. මේ process එක අපි ඉස්සරහට කතා කරමු. Right. Okay. Complete this thing also පුතා. general ledger මේ බලන්න මේ මම ledger එක හරියට වෙනස් කරා මේ හරියට headings දාලා general ledger announce වෙනම මේව කරා creditors ledger accounts එක වෙනම maintain කරා ඒව හරියට වෙන වෙනම වෙන්න ඕනේ මතක තියාගන්න headings දාන්න right complete up to that and let me know once you finish it right discussion business has made the following credit purchases during the month of January 2021 let's say on 12th Jan credit purchases from Dasun rupees 500,000 within bracket you can say list price trade discount 10%. Then on 18 Jan, Credit purchase from Dhanuka, rupees 300,000. But that is invoice price. %. 25th Jan, credit purchases from Dhanuka, rupees 400,000. That is list price. Trade discount 5%. Right. You are required to prepare. First one, purchases journal. Next, private ledger accounts. And the relevant ledger accounts. In the general ledger. Right. Okay. Now this is a complete question, similar questions compared to the one that we have done. Right. I'll give 5 minutes to complete the entire question. Take 5 minutes and try to complete this entire question. The question is සම්පූර්ණයෙන් ඉවර කරන්න. Those who finishes, WhatsApp me the answer. Okay. Very similar to the previous question. You wanted to have the purchases journal. What information you want to have? Their date, invoice number, supplier, and the value. Right. Right. What was the first transaction? So on 12 January, you did a credit purchase from Dasun. 12 January, you did a credit purchase from Dasun. List price is 500,000. So the list price from Dasun 500,000. We are giving the 10% trade discounts. 10% means 50. How much the value? It's 450,000. I do the entire question in rupees 1,000. Right. We did a credit purchase from Dasun, rupees 450,000. Then you credit Dasun's account on 12 Jan, same purchases 450,000. Is that clear? Right. Did a credit purchase from Dasun. On 18 January, you did another credit purchase from Dhanuka. Amount is 300,000. Right. This 300,000 is an invoice price. So then if the invoice price is given, you don't want to find anything, you can just record it in the purchases journal, invoice price. And on the same day, you get this, on the same day, you need to update the individual creators account saying purchases rupees 300,000. Then the next one, 25th January, you purchase from Dhanuka, rupees 400. Put up 400 is the list price or the invoice price. Melina, it's a list price or the invoice price. That's a list price, right? List price is 400, 5% discount. 5% means 20. Is it 380? Yes. Dhanuka, 25th January, purchases, that is rupees 380. that is rupees 380, right? Now everything is fine. Now take the totals. Then what I suppose right here, 31st Jan, total posted to GL. After recording every transaction at the end of month, you are taking the total of the journal, and total will be copied to the general ledger, right? How much it is? 600,000, 1 million, 1.1 million 30,000. Is that 1.1 million 30? Yes or no? Right, 1.1 million 30. Yes, that 1.1 million 30, you need to copy it where? The total goes to the general ledger, right? What is the double entry? What is the double entry when you are copying the purchases, total of the purchases journal to the ledger? What is the double entry when you are copying the total of the purchases journal to the ledger? Purchases account debit and the trade payable account credit. Here now, you write here on 31st January, saying trade payable 1.1 million 30, and credit here saying purchases 1.1 million 30,000. That is rupees 1.1 million 30,000. Clear? Right. Complete this. Mata මේ කට්ටිය answers එවන්න. Sulakshi, you have to WhatsApp your answer. Right. There's a small question that has been tested, Puta. In question number 8, right? What is the journal entry to copy the total of the purchase journal to the ledger, right? What is the journal entry to copy the total of the purchases journal to the ledger? What is a to the ledger? What is the journal entry? Purchases account debit, trade payable control accounts credit. What's the journal entry? Again, purchases account debit, trade payable control account credit. Purchases account debit and the trade payable control accounts credit. Is that clear for you? Right, hari. Cash discount, trade discount, separate kata karamu ඊළඟ දවසේ hari. එහෙනම් පුතා we can stop it this Friday. Tomorrow you have the class from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. On that day we